Hey, it's Biddy Penny. Welcome back to my channel. It is week 12 of the Margaret Miller Collage Weekly Prompt Challenge, and this week is going to be an adventure, you guys. I used this ephemera book for a lot of the pieces that I pulled today, and I think it's the only one that I used, and that's why it's the only one that I'm showing. This book and another one that you've seen me use a lot are all going to be linked down below. I know I had a question last week about like what sticker books I was using. I will link them down below. Bought them both on Amazon. I am having a terrible allergy attack, you guys, so bear with me if I sound a little stuffy today or under the weather. It's just Texas allergies. It's spring, baby. All right, so this chest image here is actually a printable that I have. And it just has a bunch of different treasure chests or traveling chests, and I love it. I am trying to create an old world kind of map come to life today with my collage. I'm going to use this tea-dyed paper. The prompts were something found in a treasure chest, graph paper, a hand tool, a piece of scrap art, something you see through the window, and the bonus is a key. All right, so I have my tea-dyed paper. Both of these are actually my tea-dyed paper. One I added brusho, so the blue one has some brusho in it, which gave it that color. So I'm just going to glue all this down because this is my base. My collage today is kind of broken up in thirds, if you will. Like it's a scene or a story, but it's kind of has three views. So down at the bottom where I'm placing the treasure chest is kind of the island with lots of plants and the treasure. The middle is the ocean. I have a voyager who's going to have to be brave and cross that ocean. And at the top is kind of him and his study plotting and scheming and planning. So that's kind of what I'm going for here. And the first thing I'm going to do is just lay out all of my stickers. Mostly, I think everything I use on this page besides stamps are stickers. Yeah, and that one printable of that chest. So that's pretty cool. Getting the most out of my investment in my sticker books. I knew I wanted those sticker books when I started this challenge because I plan on doing it all year, and I knew they would come in handy. I've seen others use them in their collage. So I will end up gluing down all of these stickers. They're not super sticky, which is fine, totally fine. But what I like about working with them is I can kind of layer them up and they stay. So that's fun. I will end up fussy cutting some of them, but not all of them. It honestly just depended on how easy it was to fussy cut them. Okay, so the first thing I'm doing here with my paper before I start gluing anything down is I'm going to turn this into my graph paper. So I'm using my mat behind the paper, my glass mat, to get and a ruler to get my straight lines. I'm going to create lines going each direction. I'll tell you what, you guys, whatever's in the air today, it's got me. So yeah, I'm just creating my own graph paper. I haven't made next week's collage yet, so I'm hoping today that I'll get to make it. And I'm going a new direction. So, you know, that's what's so fun about this challenge is that I can just keep exploring collage and playing and having fun. I mean, there's no pressure. This is just going into an art book of mine. You know, it's just an adventure and it's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it, and I feel like it is broadening my horizons one collage at a time. Yeah, so like fussy cutting the star was super easy and I just felt like it needed to be done. So now that I have this graph paper, if you will, I want to create kind of, we have a old world globe here in our home, and I always love like the compass and the when they used to paint in like the sea monsters or the sea creatures and things like that. So I wanted to give it that. So I put in a compass and I put in the star and I put this eel around the ship. Like, you really did have to be brave to cross the oceans and explore and seek out um, new horizons. So that's why the eel is all tangled up with that ship. So, yeah, just super, super fun. I might have gotten a little grungy here, a little heavy handed with my blending here, but that's okay. Parts of our oceans today, unfortunately, are grungy. I'm mixing the old with the new. Okay, so I thought, I darkened up that top corner, and yes, when I darkened it up, it's like you could see the glue lines behind it. Not cool, but whatever, it's fine. I have this Blue Fern Studio stamp set, which I get all my Blue Fern Studio from Dreams, etc. Um, and Dreams is spelt with a Z and not a S. So if you're looking for Blue Fern Studio stamps, I suggest you go there. I actually honestly haven't even seeked out another seller, so that's the only place I know of. I'm sure there's others out there, but I really love Jen and supporting her small business, so that's where I go. All right, so I put the moon because I'm a moon watcher, you guys. I love seeing the moon in the day, in the night, whenever. And so one of the prompts was something you see out your window. Well, I always get excited when I see the moon outside of my window. If you live in potentially one of my dream houses, you might see the ocean outside of your window too, which, we have in the middle section of this collage. All right, so I'm just going to glue the moon and clouds to this area. I love the added interest that stamping behind the collage gives. So there's a couple of things I think this collage taught me. And about unifying pieces. Also, we're always told to work in thirds or odd numbers, and breaking the page up in thirds. That's a very popular approach to paintings and creating visual artwork, is to break something up into thirds. And so I think that really worked for this composition today. And it was the first time that I was kind of really deliberate about that. And then definitely the variation of stamping and bringing that into it and how that unifies the piece, it kind of takes it from, for me personally, from being a bunch of stickers, creating a picture, to something more cohesive than that. So, for pieces like this one where I didn't want a fussy cut, I just used my brush and I applied paper makeup to everything. I ink blended. If you didn't know, my husband calls it paper makeup. So I'm kind of doing, the paper makeup kiss to everything here. And on this piece, I know I'm wanting to write something there, so that's why you saw me kind of wipe it off. I want to make sure I can write on top of that. But these stickers really hold the ink quite well. I'm using Distress Oxide, and which, Distress Oxide is a hybrid ink of pigment and dye ink, and Distress ink is just dye ink. If you were ever curious about the differences between those two inks. But yeah, this really, even though these stickers are kind of slick from this book, they're kind of got a slick surface, and they still hold that ink very well. Now that I have my top third done, I can glue down my middle third there. And already this page is totally coming together for me. And I'm getting super excited. You can't tell it here, but I am. And so let's assemble the third part. Now, see, this is what's fun about working with stickers is I kind of put them where I wanted them and they just all stuck together. So I didn't have to rearrange a ton because I arranged them once, sticking them all together, and they stayed. The only thing is, like, I think it's okay for stickers like this because they do have that slick surface where I can rearrange them if I want, as long as I don't press them down and leave them for 3 days before I come back or something like that. But working, rather quickly with them and not pressing them down too hard, just kind of tacking them down a little bit, then I can come back and rearrange them. If you're working with more of a matte sticker, a sticker that doesn't have some sort of slick coating or something on it, then you may not have the same success of being able to rearrange them, stick them together, pull them apart, things like that. So as you can tell, I did not fussy cut around all of the pieces. In hindsight, yeah, I wish I would have done a little more fussy cutting, but I mean, it's fine. I just knock everything back with my ink. And as you can see here, I'm just gluing everything down. So let me talk a little bit about the prompts and how I hit them. Already we have a treasure chest, we have our graph paper, something you see through the window, we've got the moon and the ocean, a hand tool. I thought that telescope up on the explorer's desk might work. The binoculars could probably work for a hand tool. But I also go ahead and add in, you can see that image just above the treasure chest with the chisel, the hammer, and the arm. Such a funny sticker. That's one of the things about these sticker books is if it works for the collage, I'm trying to use it because I can't think of another time that I would ever use that sticker. So, yeah, I thought it was perfect for this collage. So I have a literal hand with a tool in it above that treasure chest by the star. And a piece of art, I chose the gorgeous perfume bottles and jewelry and brooch to be my art, piece of scrap art. And I think that's it. Oh, we've got a key, but that'll come in just a second. So here I am knocking back all the edges of those stickers. I'm going to glue this down, and once I do, I'm going to write something in it. So I looked up quotes about exploration and adventure, and I found one. I wanted to find one about like travel and ocean travel. There's our key. So that's our bonus for this week. And I found Time and Tide Wait for No Man by G. Chaucer. So I thought this was perfect. I needed something short that would fit in this little label in this little box, and I thought it really kind of captured the moment for this gent. Time and Tide Wait for No Man. Perfect. I had gotten a little bit of glue, and so I brought in my adhesive eraser to take some of that out. It just had kind of gotten away from me a little bit, and this just cleaned it right up. I'm looking at the page right now, and I can't even see what I erased, which is exactly what you want. Then I brought in this mica, and you guys, I'm so torn with this stuff. Like, it's absolutely stunning, gorgeous. I mean, visually, the impact that it makes on your paper, this is a Tim Holtz mica spray, is unmatched. Okay, so visually on your artwork, it is unmatched, but it comes off and it smears, and I don't like that. So for instance, I had just run my hand down my page and my hand was covered in mica. So, buyer beware, user beware, but my goodness, look how amazing it is. And it still looks like that today. So that wasn't just because it was wet, but that's what it looks like today as I stare at this collage. So here it is, our final product. It starts at the top. This almost reminds me of like a comic book page. It's definitely a story within itself. I think it rewards looking. I think this is a page that I don't have to tell you what it's about. If you just look at it long enough, you'll figure out the story. And to me, that's a success. Also, even when I don't have the greatest collage to show you guys, just sitting down and doing it, doing another week is a success. If I've had fun, that's a success. But I really thought this page came together beautifully. I hope you agree and that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.